Alabama fans are stunned.
Ain't nobody stunned. After Vanderbilt, you can't be stunned. And like I said, we could have lost to South Florida and South Carolina. So we're not stunned. We're pissed, but definitely not stunned. Stunned maybe about the Vanderbilt, but not stunned about losing to Tennessee on the road. Especially after already seeing how we've been playing all year.
A really forgetful day for Jalen Milroe. 25 of 45, right? 2 interceptions. And then on the other side, it was really Dylan Sampson who carried them in that second half. 139 rushing yards. Chris Brazzell had the game-winning, the go-ahead score late in the fourth. Great ball from Nico Iamaleava. And Alabama, 2 losses before November. First time that's happened since 2007. You know that year was? Nick Saban's first year as Alabama's head coach.
And will forever be known as 2000 and Saban. 2000 and Saban. Get it right.
Let's be frank. This game was not pretty, especially in the first half. It was, hey, you know, you talk about Georgia, Alabama, it was the complete opposite. And when you look at Bama, Richard, the script a little bit in the second half. What did you see as the key difference from Tennessee's offense?
Yeah, don't let anybody look at the helmets on the field and tell you this was a good game because it was a close game. That's just not what happened. This was a sloppy game. This was a game played by 2 flawed teams who are just not what you thought they were earlier in the season.
Wrong. We didn't come into this year looking great. We started the year out with a 3-and-out versus Western Kentucky. The defense set us up to get points just like last year, and we ended up blowing that team out. Second game, we didn't get but 14 points through 3 quarters on South Florida. We didn't start thinking we looked like anything till the Wisconsin and Georgia first half game. Until then, we knew what we was. We looked just like last year.
For Alabama, they are not the team that you saw for the first 30 to 40 minutes of the Georgia game. They are just not that team.
Oh, now I definitely agree with you right there. We're not the team you saw against Georgia or Wisconsin because we used a lot of heavy Milroe legs that game, meaning we used his God-given gifts that game. Milroe don't like to run, refuses to run, and that's why we see the same team we saw last year.
They're 2 flawed teams, and you saw 2 flawed teams play a mucky, yucky game today.
I do agree with you, but we're going to have to get a ruling from the judges on that phrase. Yucky, what did he say? Yucky, wucky, mucky, yucky? Yeah, we're going to have to get a ruling on that one. I agree with everything you just said, but I don't know if that phrase is acceptable. Mucky, yucky?
Yeah, I'm going to go into this, and I'm going to remember that Alabama is a talented team that is not playing winning football. They are horrendous when it comes to the details. They are not at all good at the things that you need to do to be mentally dialed in to win games that are won at the margins. When they have a talent advantage, like they were able to do against Wisconsin or against a lot of the non-conference schedule, well then, hello Jalen Milroe, hello Ryan Williams, hello this big talent advantage.
I agree. We have fun when we beat up on teams that we supposed to beat. When we up big and the defense put us in situations, we tick-tocking, we dancing, we body rocking, hip rocking all over the place. But if ever the game has to come down to our quarterback making plays, without his legs, of course, we'll be in the same situation all year. It ain't gonna work. Majority of the time, even the teams that we supposed to be blowing out, we can't even really do nothing with them. It's a struggle game. All game, just like last year. Just struggle all year.
But now that they've had to start playing comparable talent, the fact that they don't do well at being able to keep themselves from the costly penalties. Alabama entered the game ranked outside of the top 100 nationally in penalties per game and penalty yards per game. And what do we see here? In an absolute flag fest, penalties everywhere, costly penalties again hurting Alabama.
And I can show you plenty of plays in the last few games that even if we had 500-yard penalties, even if the locker room ain't following the boys' lead, all these excuses y'all pulling, none of this matter if we just make a completion or 2 here and now.
Their execution is poor. Their focus is poor. It is something that is remarkable to see a team that still, to my eye, has individuals that can be excellent, and yet together as a group, not fantastic.
People act like we got the 07 team in talent. We got a fire team talent-wise. We just cannot do nothing with it.
Yeah, Tennessee won, but I think they were just the crab that got just a little bit higher out of the barrel.
You know, you look at Jalen Milroe's stat line, it says 25 of 45. 10 of those incompletions were thrown to Ryan Williams, and he didn't catch it. Ryan Williams goes 8 receptions for 18 targets. And this is not to bag on Ryan Williams. He's an exceptional player. Why I bring this up is Ryan Williams is the only thing this offense has as far as easy production for Alabama. So Jalen Milroe is force-feeding him the ball. And look, I'd probably force-feed the ball to Ryan Williams too if I was Jalen Milroe, but it just goes to show they just don't have weapons.
You's alive, we don't have weapons. We just got a quarterback that can't see the weapons. We got plays called up that it don't matter if it's a 4 or 5 or a 3-star player. It don't matter who you are. If you could be wide open, it don't matter what caliber weapon you are. He just can't see you. So it don't matter if you a 4, 5 or a 6-star. He just can't see people half the time. This is tunnel vision at its finest. Don't say we don't have weapons. We have weapons. We just can't get the weapons to ball unless we calling jet sweeps. You made your point at first. Milroe really goes to Ryan Williams all the time because he can't read defense. That's a cop-out. I go over here to this guy who has a high chance of winning his route. Like you even said, I go to Ryan Williams a lot too. Yes, he's that good, but that's not realistic offense. We can't sustain that a whole year. You got to really read these defenses and find the open guy. You can't just say, well, I know I struggle to read defense, so I'm just going to call hike and throw it to Ryan every time. Hopefully he got me. Hopefully he bailed me out one of these 50-50s. That's not offense, man, even if he is a talent like he is. And just because of the media or people like you who have to see so many games and have to know so much. See, I only know Alabama. See, for you to come in here and say we don't have weapons, that's how we lose receivers or receivers drop out from coming to see us because they don't want to be in here in a situation like this looking like we don't have weapons when we actually do. We just can't get it to them. So don't say we don't have weapons. We have weapons, my boy. We just can't get the weapons to ball. Quotes like that is why we lose receivers. I just be hoping our recruits or our younger players don't hear people like you saying stuff like this because that is the stigma that this team gets. We don't have but one weapon. And that's false. And what's crazy, all these stands, all these Milroe favorite player folks are diss every receiver we got to prove that Milroe ain't doing wrong. Oh, them receive they overrate. They ain't what we really think they is. The only one he really got is right. Man, shut up. They'll diss everybody to credit Milroe.
All they've got is Ryan Williams down there somewhere, and they weren't able to generate enough points to win this game.
Generate points? We couldn't even generate enough points to beat Vanderbilt. Talking about generating enough to beat Tennessee, and everybody just want to say, oh, the defense couldn't make a stop. The defense made a stop to where we had the ball down 2 points, and we went 3 and out with this untrustworthy-ass offense. We can't generate no points. Our defense got worked by Vandy just like Georgia Southern worked us at home with Nick Saban in the crib. Same style, So we've had problems with that style before. They had 300 yards rushing on us and put up 21 points versus Nick Saban in Titletown. But while they're scoring, we can't score with them. We seen we had problems with an offense like this before, but why our offense can't score on them? Our offense can't score on nobody. Luckily, we had to play Wisconsin backup quarterback. Who to say we could have kept up with them if they scored points? Though I do like my chances because we were using Milroe legs that game. That's how I knew to make that prediction I did, saying we was going to blow out Georgia. Because I saw the legs. I saw the light. I was locked in saying this is the team. We got everybody like this. And now we back to Peyton Manning mode.
And the interception at the end of the game, you know, you hate to bag on Jalen Milroe because he is an exceptional athlete.
Man, I don't give a F about a player being an athlete when I need a quarterback. That's the problem. And that's what I'm saying. If he was showing that super athlete, super athletic mode, then we might be cool. Like I said, we all love what we saw versus Wisconsin in first half of Georgia. But don't be telling me he's a great athlete when he won't be an athlete. This man won't tuck and run to save our life. Forget the quarterback design runs. What about the pass plays that don't work? 1 read, 2 at the max and I'm gone. He go sit back there till something gets open or till I get sacked. We still on year 1 reads. We still on year 1 mechanics. Pocket presence is bad. If man made a rating for pocket presence, he would be ranked one of the lowest. Maybe of all time. This is no peripheral. Tunnel vision at its max, and this is no hate. I'm just reporting what I see. Tell me when I lie. If everything don't go right from the blocking to the receivers running routes to the running backs doing whatever they put on, if everything don't go right for him, if the plate ain't made for him, if the table ain't made and the plates ain't set and the forks and knives and spoons put in place, it ain't gonna work. Everything has to go. In that case, I could be the quarterback. If that man ain't using his legs and we have to depend on his reads and his arm, it don't matter what excuse y'all make, who you blame, who you pick on, we dead. And stop acting like the man injured like he used to just tuck and run all the games before this and now he just stopped. The man won't run the ball. We saw him run against Kentucky and LSU last year, and we saw him run against Wisconsin and Georgia this year.
But when you put the ball in his hands and you need him to be a passer, you see what you got on that play, that final pass that was the interception. He throws it behind the receiver, coming across the middle of the field.
This man threw the intercept, not to a top-tier guy, 5-star. This man threw it to a damn near walk-on. This boy ain't even on scholarship yet. He finna get on there messing with you.
If he can't throw the ball accurately in the middle of the field, you're not going to win games in the Southeastern Conference. You're not going to go to the college football playoff.
This was the mark against him, right? Throwing short and intermediate throws. He can throw the deep ball, but the intermediate throws, there were so many times, Richard and Chip, where he had Ryan Williams open, wide open, and he just completely missed him, whether it was because of the pass rush or his feet weren't set.
Y'all just talking about him forcing the ball to Ryan Williams. Talk about how a passing tree shredded down to 3 routes. Most of the other routes just decoy routes. People be saying cater the offense to him. You can't cater an offense to this guy no more than what is catered. This is catering.
And when you look at the totality of Alabama, Chip, what has changed for this team?
Ain't nothing changed. We the same team we been. We look great against Wisconsin and Georgia, but outside of that, we the same team we've been when we not using that boy leg.
I think that offensively, there really is a lack of confidence as they go out there and as they try to handle their business. And I think that maybe you could even, if I can recklessly speculate from my seat here, the fact that Kendrick Law is frustrated and he gets himself flagged for a personal foul penalty, jawing a little bit with the Tennessee defender there at the end of the game. I just don't see a unit that is operating with any kind of confidence and knowing what they do.
That's obvious frustration. You see what he said to the wide receiver coach when he came to the sideline. If the man would have threw the ball right, we wouldn't be having this conversation. That's what he said. Those boys getting tired of it and it's stemming over from practice. They seeing these same balls in practice and it look like they getting tired of it, man. They just programmed to say the political right thing on the mic and defending the guy.
I don't see an offensive line that is getting the kind of push that you would expect given some of the talent there.
That's big cap. This line usually going 5 versus 6, 5 versus 7, 5 versus 8. According to the tight end in the help. But the disrespect these defenses show versus Milroe to bring everybody up, everybody on the defense is damn near middle linebacker extended to the line of scrimmage. It's crazy. And to put that much pressure on that O-line is crazy. No O-line has it hard as our O-line in the nation. The defense almost daring Milroe to make a play. They taking away his bombs. And they got everybody up in the pocket to also take away our run game. Our O-line looks suspect half the time in the run game because it's 30 people in the box. Know your stats. Know what you're talking about over there, man. Just talk, don't just talk in theory.
They are very much reliant on hitting those home runs. And as Richard pointed out about the over-reliance on Ryan Williams, I mean, that is something that we expect from teams that are in the middle of their conference, teams that are not competing for championships. When you just have that easy button and you keep hitting it enough, you just hope that one thing is going to hit.
I like what you did though, but don't worry. We see what they don't and say what they want. I'll go and clean that up for you. You say that seems like the characteristics of a team that's in the middle of, a lower conference or something like that. No, let's just be real. That's the characteristics of a quarterback that can't read the D, so he just trying to keep hitting the easy button. I like the way you worded it right there, but you ain't want to diss the man. This ain't no dissing. We just keeping it all the way 100 over here on this channel. It ain't no dissing. Because like I said, he could have got these same passes along with a lot of legs like we got in Georgia, and that would have been straight. You know what I'm saying? We tried to get on the bandwagon. We tried to get in and say, hey, this is a new scheme. Let's see what he can do in this scheme. We were just talking about his deficiencies in the pro style, but let's just see if the boy and them can work it. But no, man, no matter what you call, it's not going to be good enough for this guy unless everything in the world goes right on that play. It is what it is. But you're right. To keep going for that easy button every time so you don't have to read defense, no, that ain't going to work.
We are used to seeing teams that compete for championships having a little bit of balance, being able to throw you one thing and then a counter. And it just doesn't look like Alabama has been able to do that over the course of the last couple of weeks.
Last couple weeks, my ass, this stemmed back to last year. You take away this first half of Georgia and this Wisconsin game where he was actually running, and this goes all the way to back to last year to the last 2 games where he was running with it, which was LSU and Kentucky. Y'all so blinded by the wins. The wins make y'all forget everything. Like Roy Jones said, y'all must have forgot. The majority of last year was struggle ball. It was all about the defense and the special teams last year. Y'all must have forgot. That defense setting us up, throwing alley-oops and coming through for us. It wasn't one time last year where our offense looked as dominant as it did versus Georgia. It was always team ball with a heavy dose of defense and special teams. We have never been clicking on all cylinders on a weekly basis with this offense. We just keep getting promised that it's going to get better.
You know, whether it's Vanderbilt or South Carolina, and certainly here against Tennessee, what has changed since the beginning of that Georgia game? I think that Alabama came out with a great script. And now that everybody has kind of settled into how they want to defend Jalen Milroe, we still have yet to see a really strong counter.
We have seen a strong counter. My man just can't hit or see the damn players. We already know he ain't gonna use his legs. He won't tuck and run. I really don't see what's hard about this situation.
You know, I think both teams, this is what you got. I mean, maybe one of them will get better coming home, but this is what you got. And do not tell me that this Alabama team is a top 12 team when all is said and done. A two-loss team is going to get in the college football playoff. I think multiple two-loss teams are going to get in the college football playoff, but I don't think this two-loss team, the Crimson Tide, gets in the college football playoff. They are just not this team that went all the way up on Georgia and then hung on.
Either Milroe used those legs, used those God-given gifts and turn into Legatron, or we insert Ty Simpson. It's that simple. Ain't no way around it. And it's still Roll Tide.